looks like it might rain out. It's a perfect time to trim my rain trees. Alright, so here are my Brazilian rain trees. I bought them about a year ago over at Garrett's Bonsai as a forest. See, I kept 3 of them as a clump right here, but I separated these 2. And kind of grew. I've trimmed these back quite a few times, but they get these really long shoots. And since I like to propagate trees, I'm going to take a whole bunch of cuttings and root them. I'm just keeping these as stock trees for right now, that way I can keep taking cuttings over and over. But I'm going to just trim them back, so I'm not really too worried about the artistic styling right now. I just want to be able to cut these so I can make new ones. I have a seedling tray. It's about 2 inches deep, and I filled it with coconut coir, which is a peat soil alternative. And I basically mixed it with some perlite and some coarse heavy sand. They're like little stones. So if you're propagating these, you basically don't want anything with fertilizer in it, and you want an inert soil. So you don't want any harsh chemicals or fertilizers in it, because that can cause the little cutting not to root. The process to grow the roots off of the cuttings is pretty straightforward. Basically, take a cutting, dip it in some kind of rooting hormone. I like using this rooting gel, but the powder should work just fine as well. And then you stick it in the soil here, and then keep it moist and out of the direct sunlight. So you're going to want to keep it in a warm, shaded area, and then keep it moist. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim all of these up, that way I can take my cuttings, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Alright, here's all the cuttings I took off the trees. Now I'm going to probably cut them back to like 6 inches or so for each cutting, and then I'll place them in the soil. So you'll see how I do that right now. So first what I'm going to do is take about a 6-inch cutting, just like that. And then I'm going to cut off the bottom leaves and thorns. Just like that. You want to leave about 2 or 3 pairs of leaves like this. Now in your seedling tray, you want to get a little poker and make a hole for the cutting to sit into. Now all I have to do is dip the end into the rooting hormone, just like that, and stick it in the hole you just made. And then pack it in tightly. And then you could water it in when you're done. So I'm going to do this whole tray, and then I'll water it in. So I stuck in all the thicker cuttings because I kind of want a thicker cutting to root. And then I have all of these were the ends that I cut off, the soft green growth. I don't want to try to root these at all. I just want the thicker ones. But I'm going to compost these. Now all I have to do is water these in and put a label on it. That way I know when I started the cuttings. Place them in the shade, and in a couple months you could check on the roots. Here's one that I actually did last season, and I potted it up separately. You can see all the root growth. It's doing really healthy. I just added some slow release fertilizer to this. And there you go. That's how you clone a Brazilian rain tree. Here's another one that I did last season. See all the roots growing out of the bottom there? Just topped up the soil, and I'm gonna just keep them watered. And then when they grow again, I could just take more cuttings. And then eventually these will become bonsai. So much for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something, and get out there and enjoy yourself.